And here we go. Another day, another police shooting of an unarmed black man. This one at point blank range in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We're going to talk about a few different things with this because there's a few shitty narratives running around that I kind of want to plink off. Police have been called to the 2800 block of 40th Street, 5:11 p.m., where the shooting occurred. Officers say they provided immediate aid to the shooting victim, who was taken by flight to Froedtert Hospital in Milwaukee. Kenosha police reported the man was in serious condition. This is literally the first thing that the news put in is there was a shooting, the police provided aid, and the person was whisked away. This is what they're leading with. Okay, fine. We'll assume that they thought that the headline was going to be enough and they didn't need to pound the point further when they got in. The Kenosha News reported that neighbors said the victim was trying to break up a fight between two women. Bystanders said the man was tased and then shot several times. A video circulating on social media shows a man walking into a van followed by two male police officers with weapons drawn. As the man opens the door to get in, an officer grabs his shirt to hold him and then shoots him in the back at close range. 7 shots are heard, followed by a car horn, presumably from the men's head falling forward. A woman who followed behind the police can be seen screaming and jumping up and down. So, I'm not a fan of traumatizing and re-traumatizing people over police shootings. However, I am actually going to play the video of this one because there's a couple of important things that happened. If watching video of police executing people at point blank range is something that you just don't want to watch, this would be the point where you pause or dump out or fast forward a minute or so, okay? It's kind of important. Okay, so here's the video. There's a few things of note. Number one, the video starts ostensibly with the victim lying on the ground surrounded by 3 police officers around the other side of the van. It's why you can't see them. Apparently, the man got up. The police let him get up. He then walked around the car. The police let him walk up and go around the car. Then when he went to go get into the car, they grab him. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of, oh, well, the police feared for their life. Oh, the police didn't know if he was going to go into his car and get a gun and shoot them. Well, if that was a concern, the police shouldn't have let him get up and calmly walk all the way around the vehicle and get into the car. There were 3 of them. They had him surrounded and he was on the ground. They let him walk and go to the front of his car. If they were so concerned that he was a threat, they wouldn't have let him walk over calmly to his car and get in. Okay? So here you go. This is pretty ass horrific. Man gets up. Look. He's pointing a taser at him. He's pointing a gun at him. He opens up the car. Now they grab him and shoot him once he opens the car door. They don't physically try to restrain him until he opens the car door. So right off the bat, this is bad policing. Sorry, it is. This is bad policing. It's not like the guy was sprinting. It's not like he was running. It's not like he did the Starsky and Hutch and went leaping over the hood of his car, right? They just let him get up and they let him walk around to the car. And then they shot him 7 times in the back. Now, there's going to be a bunch of narratives. Oh, we didn't know. Oh, the police officers feared for their life. Oh, he could have been going to the car to get a gun. Well, they let him get up and get a gun. Then we're going to hear about his past. He had a criminal record, or he had a warrant, or he was in the system. It doesn't matter, because that doesn't justify the police executing somebody in the street. When you hear the arguments about why are black people screaming and yelling? Why does everybody yell Black Lives Matter? Oh, I hate it. It's so inconvenient for me. Won't those uppity Negroes just be quiet? Yeah. We hear all the dog whistles. We know what the fuck you're saying. None of this is new. You're not... Oh, is that loud? Is it... People have told me that this is excruciatingly loud and irritating. It's just as irritating as I find all the different dog whistles of all the different reasons why it's cool and it's excusable to kill a black person, i.e. cop feared for his life, i.e. we thought he was going for a gun, i.e. we said he had a knife, i.e. he had a police record, i.e. there were only 3 of us standing over him with weapons drawn and we didn't feel safe. Whatever the reason, there's going to be a multitude of excuses, okay? None of those are reasons. They're excuses because they're excuses. Okay? Now, Let's talk about the fallout, because this is the number 2 reason why I hear people try to delegitimize the concerns over the police executing people in the streets, okay? So let's talk about it. Shortly after the shooting was reported, people took the streets and began to protest in front of the Kenosha Police Department. Kenosha SWAT then shot tear gas and rubber bullets at protesters, who then reacted and began to throw rocks and bricks at officers. The protesters set small fires to the Kenosha County Courthouse and broke most of the windows, including the windows at the police department. Yes, all of that happened. People are like, James isn't going to talk about what happened afterwards because he supports Black Lives Matter. This has nothing to do with an organization or a group or even a chant of Black Lives Matter. This is literally people in a community responding to the fact that somebody in their community just got executed. They went to go protest at the police department. The police department shot them. Okay, oh, they're less than lethal weapons. Oh, they're rubber bullets. Yet you know how many people after the last spate of protests are missing a limb or an eye because of the less than lethal weapons? No, I don't care. Stop saying they shot them with rubber bullets. They shot them with tear gas. No. Police came to the police department. They came to protest. The police responded by opening fire on the protesters, okay? And yes, in return, they threw bricks at the cops. Yes, they smashed out windows. And yes, they set fire to things. And none of that has anything to do with the legitimacy or the concern of somebody being shot in the back 7 times at point blank range by a cop. Okay? So save your pity party for the windows, because it has absolutely nothing to do with the incident that happened. I know people want to use it as a reason to delegitimize the movement. Yeah, doesn't matter. Okay? We're talking about the police executing somebody. We're not talking about your weird fucking relationship that you have with Windows. I don't care how much you love Windows, okay? Windows have nothing to do with the fact that the cops just executed, yes, another person. And yes, he happened to be a black man, okay? Now, if you want to get into the mentality of the cops and the people who shot him, this is the police officer who shot him. Rusten Sheskey. So we looked up Rusten Sheskey. Well, he has an Instagram account, and he has it set to private. However, people are stupid. And thus, it turns out that Rusten Sheskey has a Pinterest page, because of course he does. So, would you like to delve into the mentality of people who grab somebody by the back of the shirt and then pop 7 rounds into them at point blank range? Please, let's take a look. Oh, look, he likes funny stuff. Look, this is adorable. Oh, look at the little baby police car hunting without its mama bear. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, he thinks it's adorable. Look, it's cop humor. Oh, okay. Let's see. What's this one? Romans 13:4. For he is God's servant to do you good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword for nothing. He is God's servant, an agent of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Y'all know it's not the police's job to punish people, right? That's the court's job. More importantly, a jury of somebody's peers. Again, if you worship the police state and you worship the blue line, then you have to worship the judicial system that works hand in hand with the thin blue line. Because I'm sure if a court officer or a court bailiff got shot, all you thin blue line motherfuckers would be jumping up on it. So since you're going to take credit for him, you also got to take blame for him. Kind of how that shit works, okay? So this guy thinks, number 1, he is a servant of God. Number 2, he wants people to fear him if they do wrong. Number 3, he believes he bears the sword of God. He believes he is a servant of God. And number 5, he believes he is an agent of wrath, okay? And his job is to bring punishment on wrongdoers, okay? That's not your job there, Slappy. Your job is to investigate crimes, issue warrants and citations, and yes, sometimes arrest people. It is not your job to fucking bust out the sword of Damocles and start smiting motherfuckers with biblical wrath, okay? You're a cop. You got a starting salary of $42,500 and you drive a car with blinky lights on top. That's the end of it, okay? You don't work for the fucking Messiah. You work for the state. Fuck! God, you people are goofballs. No, I don't want to log in. No, ma'am, I don't spend my day eating donuts. 80% of my day consists of going on retarded-ass calls like this. 15% trying to make the report sound like I gave a shit, and 5% dealing with real crime. That's the cop mentality. The cop mentality is that 95% of the reasons they have to deal with you are bullshit. Yeah, great cop mentality. This is the guy who shot somebody 7 times in the back, okay? Before you all go canonizing him. Oh, he's a cop. Oh, and you start fucking singing hymns to him, okay? Assholes. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. If you don't know what that's in reference to, there are 12 people in a jury. There are 6 pallbearers at a funeral. In other words, shoot first, ask later. There you go. That's the mentality of the person who shot him in the back. Was he going to hesitate? Of course he wasn't going to hesitate executing or trying to execute a man in the middle of the street. No, of course not. Because he would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6 because he only has to be thought of as innocent by one of those 12. That's just playing the percentages. Now, for the last little bit. We have already ascertained that the cop has a shoot first, ask questions later. We have already ascertained that he thinks he is a servant of God and that he is smiting the evil people. And yet somehow he is employed by the state to uphold the law. Yeah, okay. So people go, oh, but because he's black, you want to make it racial. Oh, you're stoking the flames of racism, right? No, because as I'd like to remind you all, police don't always shoot people. I mean, this white guy is literally menacing a cop. Walking towards her. She's telling him to stop while pointing a gun at him. You know what she didn't do? She didn't shoot him. She still hasn't shot him. This guy is approaching her menacingly. She doesn't shoot him. But the man at Kenosha was walking away from the cops, and they shot him 7 times in the back. So if you want to know why people think these kind of killings are racially motivated, it's because the police seemingly have the ability to not shoot when the target is a little whiter, even if he's more menacing. Sorry if this offends y'all, but this is the reality of the situation.